Today, I'm testing the craziest onion hacks on the internet, and some of these are just ridiculous. I'm gonna put onions next to potatoes, apples, even bananas, and see what actually happens. I'll wrap them in paper towels, seal them in plastic, and throw them straight into the fridge. I'll even try washing onions before storing them, hanging them, and do the weird stuff people swear by. And I'll find out why onions make us cry like babies, and why my hands smell so bad every time I chop them. I heard a little salt and lemon might fix that, so I'll test it. I'm about to show you 23 of the most common onion mistakes and the simple fixes behind them, from the strangest to the most viral ones out there. Let's find out. Shiny onions aren't fresh. Most people grab the shiny onions because they look fresh and new, but that glossy skin is just trapped moisture. It means the onion has been sitting in a humid bag, slowly rotting from the inside. A good onion should feel dry and make a soft crackle when you touch it. Those dry skins let the onion breathe, keeping it firm and sweet for weeks without sprouting or smelling bad. If the onion's stem looks soft or green, it's already waking up. That means it's starting to sprout. Once an onion begins to grow again, it pulls nutrients and moisture from the bulb, making the layers inside soft and bitter. Look for onions with a dry, tight neck and a firm base when you press it. Those are the ones still asleep. They'll stay fresh and crisp for weeks. If you see dark spots or damp patches near the root, that onion's already in trouble. Mold always starts at the base, then spreads upward through the layers, even if the top still looks fine. Pick onions with clean, dry roots and even color all around. They'll stay fresh longer, smell cleaner, and you won't find any slimy surprise when you peel them later. A lot of people reach for the biggest, shiniest onions thinking they're the best, but the big, glossy ones usually hold more water and spoil faster. They look nice, but they don't last. Go for medium-sized onions that feel heavy for their size and firm when you press them. Those dense ones have less moisture, better flavor, and can stay fresh for weeks. If the onions are sitting next to misted produce or under water spray, skip them. That extra humidity gets trapped under the skin, making the onions soft, moldy, and quick to rot. Always buy onions from a dry, open shelf, somewhere away from the misting area. Dry onions stay crisp, last longer, and won't turn mushy before you even get home. Those pre-packed onions in sealed plastic bags might look convenient, but they're a trap. Plastic keeps moisture and heat inside, and that's exactly what onions hate. Instead, choose loose onions or ones packed in mesh bags so air can move freely. When onions can breathe, they stay dry, crisp, and fresh for weeks, not just days. A lot of people toss their onions in the fridge, thinking it'll make them last longer. But cold air and humidity actually make onions soft, damp, and quick to sprout. Keep them in a cool, dark, dry place instead, like a pantry or a kitchen drawer. It might seem harmless to keep onions and potatoes together, but that's actually a bad combo. Potatoes release moisture and gas that make onions sprout and spoil much faster. Store them separately, onions in a dry, open basket, and potatoes somewhere cool and dark. When you keep them apart, both will last longer and taste fresher. Don't keep onions in sealed bags. Without airflow, when onions can't breathe, they start to sweat. And once that happens, mold and rot follow fast. Keeping them in a sealed plastic bag traps humidity and turns the perfect onion into a soggy mess. Use mesh bags, paper bags, or open baskets instead so air can circulate freely. Good airflow keeps onions dry, crisp, and fresh for weeks. Don't store onions near heat or sunlight. Keeping onions near the stove or by a sunny window might seem fine, but heat is their worst enemy. Warm air dries out the layers, making the onion shrivel and lose its natural sweetness. Store them in a cool, dark spot instead, like a pantry or lower kitchen shelf. Away from heat, onions stay firm, flavorful, and last much longer. Don't store onions against damp walls. Hanging onions right against a damp wall might seem harmless, but it's a silent killer. The moisture from the wall slowly seeps into the outer layers, causing mold and soft spots before you notice. Leave a little space, even just a few inches, so air can move around them. Good airflow keeps onions dry, healthy, and ready to use whenever you need them. Don't store onions near sinks or dishwashers. Keeping onions near the sink or dishwasher might seem convenient, but it's the dampest spot in your kitchen. Steam and splashes from washing create constant moisture. And onions start to sweat and rot in no time. Move them to a dry corner, away from water and heat. They'll stay firm, clean, and fresh much longer. Keeping onions next to ripe fruits like apples or bananas might look tidy, but it's a mistake. Those fruits release ethylene gas, the same gas that makes onions sprout and spoil faster. Store them separately to avoid mixing those gases. Your onions will stay firm, and your fruits won't smell like onions either. Don't buy too many onions at once. It's tempting to grab a big bag of onions on sale, but more isn't always better. Onions start aging the moment you bring them home. And once one goes bad, it spreads fast to the rest. Buy only what you'll use in the next couple of weeks. Smaller batches stay fresher, smell better, and save you from throwing food and money away. Don't forget to check your onion basket regularly. Once one onion goes bad, it doesn't go alone. It takes the others with it. Rot spreads fast, especially in warm, closed spaces. Check your onion basket every week and toss any soft or moldy ones right away. A quick look can save the rest and keep your whole batch fresh and clean. Don't freeze onions without proper protection. Freezing onions sounds like a smart way to make them last, but if you toss them in bare, they'll get freezer burn fast. Cold air dries them out, dulls the flavor, and makes them smell weird once thawed. Always use freezer-safe bags or airtight containers before freezing. Properly sealed onions keep their color, texture, and that sweet bite even after months. Leaving a peeled onion open in the fridge might seem harmless, but it's a big mistake. Onions absorb smells fast, and they also spread their own strong odor to everything around. Always store peeled onions in an airtight container or wrap them tightly in plastic. That way, your onions stay fresh, your fridge stays clean, and your food won't taste like onions tomorrow. Washing onions before storing might sound like a clean idea, but it actually ruins them faster. Water removes the onion's natural protective layer, making it easy for moisture and bacteria to sneak in. Keep them dry and unwashed until you're ready to cook. Clean them only right before use. That's how you keep them fresh and firm. Don't cut onions on a wet cutting board. Cutting onions on a wet board is a rookie mistake. Water activates the enzymes that make your eyes burn. That's why the more moisture around, the more tears you'll get. Keep your board and knife dry, or chill the onion for a few minutes before cutting. You'll slice cleanly, stay tear-free, and actually enjoy the prep for once. Don't use a dull knife to cut onions. Using a dull knife to cut onions makes everything worse. It crushes the cells instead of slicing them cleanly. That's why your onions leak juice, burn your eyes, and lose their sweet flavor. Grab a sharp knife with a thin edge and let it glide through. You'll cut faster, cry less, and your onions will taste better too. Don't cut the root. If you cut the root end first, you're basically releasing a tear bomb. That part of the onion holds the highest sulfur compounds, the stuff that makes your eyes sting. Keep the root intact and start slicing from the top instead. Cut the root last, and you'll stay tear-free the whole time. If you put cut onions away while they're still wet, you're just asking for trouble. Moisture makes the surface slimy and invites mold faster than you think. Pat them completely dry with a paper towel before storing. Dry onions stay clean, crisp, and safe to use for days. If your hands smell like onions, cold water won't fix it. It actually locks the smell in deeper. Cold water closes your pores, trapping that sulfur scent on your skin. Wash your hands with warm water and a little salt or lemon instead. It neutralizes the smell instantly and leaves your hands fresh again. Some people like to cut onions this way. Slice off both ends, then cut the onion in half. This makes peeling super quick and effortless. By the way, I have a big surprise for you at the end of this video. Don't miss out. After that, I place the 2 peeled halves in a zip bag. Press out as much air as possible. Seal it tightly and store it in the fridge. This keeps the onions fresh for several days, sometimes even weeks. Another great method is to slice the onions into smaller pieces, transfer them into a glass jar, and store the jar in the freezer. This way, your onions will stay fresh and ready to use for a very long time.